How's it going, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here with this week's episode of What's New at TW. We are into the middle of October now. Weather's starting to cool off. I know most people are probably watching their trail camera, waiting for a cold front to come in, and just waiting around for the whitetail rut. But there can be some really good fishing right now, so you take advantage of it. So as this weather cools down, the bite usually tends to pick up depending on where you're at in the country. And just take advantage of some good fall fishing with limited people out on the water. Later in the fall, kind of one of my favorite times to be out on the lake. You can usually get a few big ones as well before wintertime. Let's go into a rod here. First, we got a new series of rods from TFO. Now, TFO has been making great rods for many years, and this is the newest version of the Professional Series, which has been a staple in their lineup for a long time. They come in at 119 bucks, so they're really solid rods and going to be hard to beat for that price point. What's great about these rods is carbon fiber, really durable blank. They've updated the reel seat and the guide system on here. I believe it's a guide train, and then a really comfortable reel seat allows you to get maximum blank exposure on the back. Just a classic looking rod, classic aesthetically with the cork handles and kind of this like matte brownish gray finish on the blank. It's a really cool looking series of rods. And another thing I want to note is they have different colored accents on them for different powers of rods. So it's easier to tell what rod you're picking up off your deck, or if you're in the garage getting rigged up for the weekend, it's easy to see what rod you're having, what power you're getting by the colors on the accent. So really cool that they color code this series of rods so you kind of know what you're grabbing, and just easier to stay a little bit more organized. Next up, we got a bunch of baits here. So first one up, I think I'm gonna pronounce it right. It's EISVOGEL. So EISVOGEL's got this Slow 150 swim bait. This is an interesting bait. I've checked it out. I mean, I had to dig around for a little bit and check out the depths of YouTube to find anyone with some underwater footage of this bait. So it's made to fish really slow. So it's made for, super slow, like almost like you're barely reeling the rod. And it gets just like the most natural, back and forth, side to side swimming action. And when you look at the way it positions itself in the water, slightly head down, and the way it swims and just barely touches the surface of that tail, it really looks just like a bluegill. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen a bluegill or a small panfish just swimming right along the surface and just barely kicking side to side, and then something comes out of nowhere and eats it. So it's really made to mimic that kind of swimming motion, but you can also speed it up. You can crank it down and hard snap it, and it'll actually walk side to side subsurface. So a few different things you can do with this bait. Kind of that perfect size. It's about a 5.5 inch size swim bait. With a bill on it, some sticky sharp hooks, but just a nice kind of panfish, small panfish profile. But really cool swim bait there from EISVOGEL. From Lucky Craft, a new square bill. So this one is the Fat CB SR is, I believe, the name on it. So it's that Fat CB body. So if you're familiar with like a Fat CB 20 or like a BDS 4, it's that same body shape and size, but it's got this unique square bill on here. So it's kind of a hybrid of a square bill. So it's kind of rounded off in the front, but it's really wide. It's not a very short and sharp square bill. And with how wide the body is on this crankbait and how wide the bill is on it, it's made to just have a super wide rolling action. And because it's made to have that wide rolling action, it's made to deflect off cover, shallow wood and brush and rocks up in that 3 to 4 foot range. So if you're looking for something to really fish a square bill through heavy cover, I mean, the Lucky Craft BDS series is great at that. And this is just going to add a little bit better, another dimension to that lineup. So wider wobbling action, just great for deflecting off hard cover like wood and rocks. So big body square bill that just pushes a ton of water. Next up from Berkley, the new clatter Craw. Now, I got to see a sample of this a while ago, and I'm pretty pumped these finally came in, and I get to check them out and actually go fish one. So the clatter Craw is a pre-rigged craw bait. So it's a highly realistic, detailed craw. So it's got the side legs, It's got the nice claws on there that actually looks like a real crawdad, but it comes with an integrated jig head and hook. It's got a fluorocarbon weed guard on there, so it really protects that hook, and you don't have that kind of big fiber weed guard like most jigs on there. And they've even molded parts of like a crawdad tail into that lead head, so it really just captures the look of a crawdad. And of course, made out of power bait, so you're gonna get the benefit of power bait scent. Down here on the legs, they're kind of flanged, so they're gonna kick a lot and have a ton of action, but inside the legs, or the pinchers, there's rattles in it. So you can see those two clear rattles in there. So especially if you're fishing dirty water and just dragging this thing along the bottom, it's gonna make a lot of noise, and fish are gonna be able to kind of hone in on this thing and hear it and kind of make a little bit more disruption and just attract more fish. I think it's really cool bait. I can't wait to try this one out. All right, from Picasso. We got a bunch of new stuff from Picasso. So we got a whole series of these spinner baits. These are the Titanium Pro series of spinner baits. So we have them in this configuration, which is one I wanted to highlight. You don't see this one every day. It's a Willow, Indiana. And I'm enticed by this one because I actually tried this blade combo out by accident this spring. I was looking for a blade, and I was looking for, you know, something to set up and take some spinner baits apart in my box to make like a double Colorado or something. I didn't have anything. I ended up with something just like this, and it worked really well. So I'm stoked that that Picasso's doing something a little bit different than most of your blade combinations you see out there on the market. But they also have a double Willow and I believe a single Colorado as well. But the main part of this spinner bait is this titanium frame. So this titanium frame, you can actually bend it kind of however you want. You can bend it whichever way, and I mean really crank that thing, and it snaps right back into place. So it's a really cool spinner bait. It's going to be really durable. And then it's got the swinging head design. So it's got like a swim jig on the back that it's able to move around and have more articulation, and it stays balanced no matter how fast you reel it. But then also when you hook a fish, it just eliminates that leverage point, so you can land more fish on it. And then you can actually move that snap or that rivet out of the way right there, and you can pull that out of the way, and you can actually change this out. So, you know, if you beat this thing up after a certain amount of time, or if you want to put something heavier, lighter, you can actually change out the swim jig that's on there. Comes with that Picasso premium silicone skirt, must-add ultra point hook. So an awesome spinner bait it's tunable and really versatile. The next one we got here is their new micro umbrella rig that comes with 5 jig heads on it. So small, super compact, really finessey umbrella rig, which is actually kind of what you want to turn to this time of the year. Most of the time when the fish are moving up shallow, they're really honing in on those small, young of the year shad that can be, you know, half-inch size, and downsizing to those smaller blades, smaller baits will really get you a lot more bites. But Picasso's giving you, you know, a nice umbrella rig with jig heads already on it, so you're already outfitted. All you got to do is add your baits to it. So this is really cool. They also sell just those little micro heads by themselves. Picasso's been making some of the best umbrella rigs. I mean, ever since the umbrella rig started, Picasso's been, you know, making some of the best ones on the market. Now just already adding to that giant lineup that they already have. And the last one we got from Picasso is this jig rig that comes with a Ryugi hook and a tungsten weight on there. So a nice Picasso tungsten drop shot, that cylinder style weight on there, and a Ryugi hook. And this hook, it's got a little bit more throat on it, so it gives you a little bit more room to kind of rig up your soft plastic weedless, and then still not cover up the eyelet, so you get that free articulating motion and free up the action with this style of presentation. And we have a bunch of different hook and weight size offerings available, so you can get different size hooks with different size weights, so check those out. All right, from Heavy Hitter Custom Baits, we got a bunch of stuff. I believe we got you know, weights, jig heads, punch skirts, punch stops. We got a bunch of different baits, and we want to highlight a few. The first one is their underspin, and something that I really like about this underspin. I mean, for one, it's built super great quality. The powder coating finish on this is phenomenal. They did a great job with putting multiple colors on there, but really durable, and it's just it's a little bit more refined than some of the other powder coat jobs you see on the market. Also, corkscrew keeper, so it holds your soft plastic on there really well, If you've never tried corkscrew keepers, I'd recommend them. Just eliminates the need to put super glue and then gunk your keeper up. It comes rigged on a Gamakatsu 604 hook, which is one of the best jig mold hooks that you can ever put into your jig head. And the one thing that really intrigues me about this underspin is where they've positioned the blade. It's going to tuck up against the body really tight, which I like. Some of the underspins, they put that blade so far down, and it's not the presentation I want. So most of the time I'm looking for something a lot more compact, and this is one that I'm definitely going to try out, especially coming up when it's cold and the fish are hunkered on the bottom, and you got to slow turn this thing and just barely get that blade to spin and have it nice up against the body and not 2 inches down on a wire. Going to be a nice underspin to try out. The next one, their hover head. So for all the live scope fishermen out there, there's another hover head on the market. This one, what's different about this one, it's got these kind of wings molded into the head. So you put your minnow on there, and then the head has got these wings molded into the side. So as your bait's falling, it's not going to allow it to kind of turn straight down and dive, so that those wings are going to catch water and actually make this thing glide a lot more. So it's going to enhance the gliding action and just allow it to hover and stay higher in the water column and stay in that strike zone a lot longer, so you're not constantly having to move the bait up and down. You'll be able to twitch the bait, but it'll glide off naturally and kind of slow the descent down and kind of stay right in the fish's face for a little bit longer. So that's really cool. They've also got free rig weights, which is another ever-growing popular technique. So they've got those nice eyelets on there that are nice and polished. They're not going to fray up your line, in a bunch of different sizes. So if you're looking for new free rig weights, they got those in tungsten. And then for all the punchers, they've got these really nice punch Curts. So they're built on lead punch keeper stops, and then they're all hand tied. And they've got some great colors, all the colors you'd want. Like this one, the Okeechobee Craw. They got your black and blues. They got crawdad patterns, bluegill patterns, but a bunch of really cool colors in their punch Curts. Next from Evolve is these new rod sleeves. These are awesome. They're made out of a scuba grade neoprene, but they're actually puncture resistant. So you're not going to load up all your rods and put them in the rod tube and then get to your first spot and have hooks stuck and everything. So keeps them from getting tangled, which is, if you ever use the mesh ones, you start getting hooks in there and it is a pain to get them out. These, not going to have it. And then you have a nice system up here to kind of strap down to your rod to keep them in place, and then the ring on there just makes getting them on and off a little bit easier. So really nice rod sleeves there from Evolve. Last up from 6 Cents, we actually got a bunch of stuff. The first one, just a new size adding to their trace lineup of swim baits. So they have 2 smaller models. Now this is the one that I'm most pumped about. That bigger 7 1/4 size. They've got a bunch of great colors. This is already a proven swim bait that's caught a ton of fish. It's a 4-joint design, hard plastic with a soft tail, so it gets a really natural fluid swimming movement, just like all the 6 Cents baits. The finish on them is outstanding, almost second to none. I mean, they take the time to put that textured scale. There's so many colors in this paint job. It's really detailed. Just the small intricacies that make this thing come to life. And the premium hardware. I mean, the gill plates, 3D eyes, they come ready out of the box with those super HD triple grip hooks on there, black split rings. It's a really cool swim bait, just now offered in that bigger size. If you're looking for that about that 7-inch size, really trying to mimic those bigger gizzard shad and maybe big American shad, depending on where you're at, and you're looking for that bigger shad profile swim bait. Last up from 6 Cents, we got a bunch new apparel. So we got their gaming collection. So we got this in the shirt and we got it in a hoodie. I know it's for the forward-facing sonar crowd, but I think it's just, I don't even have a forward-facing graph, but I think it's cool to have a picture of a graph on a shirt. Cool design. And then, of course, we got the Hole Buzzard series. So we got a few different hats, Beware Hole Buzzards hats, and then we got the shirt. So if you're looking for Christmas gifts for your buddy that always poaches your spot, we got some awesome stuff for him. So the whole Buzzard collection from 6 Cents. That's going to wrap up today's episode of What's New at Tackle Warehouse. For more information or purchase any of these products seen here today, click shop or the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this week's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which one of these products you're most excited about.